Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Passion of Football Worldwide. It's been a very eventful first week, and it's very great to have you guys back. I'm here in the studio again today, and I've got two instigators alongside myself. As you remember from last week, there's Ola, and in the studio today we have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zion. Nice to meet everyone.
Ekpatero from Zion, Ekpatero from Zion, Ekpatero from Zion. Welcome to the show. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I feel excited for you guys inviting me, to be honest, and let's see where it goes.
Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. So, you wanted to say something, Ola?
Yeah, I just want to welcome everybody back to the show. Yeah, so I'm happy to give you guys a couple of videos for the first week. So this is the second week, so we're gonna make sure we keep on delivering hot content for you guys.
Agba admin. You do admin. Anyway, we're starting off the show today talking about the first week of football, touching on the games around the grounds. Last week, we had a ton of games, and as always, God delivers, and Obantala also delivers. Our first meal of the season was granted to us on a golden platter on Sunday, as Chelsea fell 2-0 at home to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side. Let's start from there. How did you guys see the game?
So from the game, just at Stamford Bridge, right? Yes. At Stamford Bridge. So from the game, my expectation of the obviously due to my prediction, I told you I think I said 2-1, I guess. Yeah. So I think Chelsea they are going to come a long way to go the wrong way. from the way the selection is, from the coaching and from the players.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's just like they are bringing 11 players from different families, different individuals to come together and play one football game. So they were not in accordance. They were not even playing as a team. So they had couple of chances, couple of runs, but I just think there were no match for City. Even City losing Rodri, no John Stones, and couple of players were missing. Foden came in the second half, and they were not able to put up a fight with City. So the game was gone from the beginning.
Basically written in the stars, if you call it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, Zion, what do you think?
Well, look at I feel like from the beginning, let's be honest, Chelsea, they're just getting players, bringing in players. To be honest, I was expecting Man City to win. No offense to Chelsea fans, but we all knew Man City was going to win.
We all did.
But let's be honest, I feel like it's going to take Chelsea a while to get, because bringing in new players, like all of them has to fit into the coach system.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to take a while. So to be honest, I knew they didn't have any chance against City. And like I said, City didn't have most of their top players. And most, and even
Would you say most? They only had Rodri and Stones out on the day.
True, that's a good point though.
They only had Rodri and Stones out on the day. They basically played with like virtually the same starting 11 that they used to play us in the Community Shield. Just a few tweaks. Savinho started, De Bruyne started. That's it.
And the way I also say Chelsea, they've not really, even most of the players they put in, they're not even like they've not like they're still need to play more games together to know.
Fair.
Okay, this is my side. Even the coach said like he's still not even sure of his starting level. I think he still need to get in some players before
he needs to still get some players.
No, like the players they have already. He needs to like staple in the
okay, I thought you said they still need to go back because
the players they have already.
At this point, they may just as well take three of us. At this point, they might take three of us.
So even let's look at their defense first. I don't think the coaches even stay comfortable with their defense.
Fofana and colleague. Colwill. Oh my God.
So Chelsea, like to be honest, I think they still need to play more games before they even get the teamwork and the partnership between everyone. That's what I say. And like Ola said, they created chances, but I don't think it was enough to defeat City.
Well, I mean, if you create all those chances and then the person in front is a weapon fashioned against you, I wonder how exactly you are going to progress.
And there's something I forgot to say concerning that match. You know, Chelsea in the midfield they have a problem. but they don't know.
They have the most expensive midfield in world football.
Yeah, you might have the most expensive garbage.
Dang.
You understand? For a lack of, sorry, but I just have to say it because you have three midfielders starting.
Two strong, independent black men in that.
You have three midfielders of the same profile playing in the same position because Enzo can never be a 10. Even if God come down and choose that guy, he will not still play well as a 10.
But for Enzo Fernandez, it doesn't seem to matter the position you play in. You play him as a 10, an 8, a 6,
because
he doesn't play well.
Because the thing is, you have Lavia. I think Lavia to me is the best player in that game for Chelsea.
Yeah,
because Lavia was very balanced. He was able to make some disruption, like stopping the play and all those stuff. Casado was a bit okay, but Enzo was just everywhere.
Enzo was just Enzo.
Because if you look at even the simple touches, he could not complete them. He was finding himself in offensive positions to hold the ball, shoot. He could not shoot. Pass. And the annoying thing was he was trying to commit and like he was just diving. I don't understand. Why are you doing that? You understand?
I believe that's what Enzo told Enzo to do.
So because I don't understand, if for you to allow Chelsea as a team to progress in whatever attack they are doing, they have to remove Kopama from the width, put him in the 10 position, put Madueke there or Neto in that position, then put Jackson in the wing and put Kuku in this to spearhead the attack. It's not a big deal, but I don't understand them trying to put Palmer in the wing and you are forcing Enzo to play that 10. And he cannot produce anything from that 10. No matter how he plays there, he can never be a Fabregas. He can never be anybody that has played for Chelsea in that number 10.
He's just an Enzo.
He's just there.
He's just an Enzo.
And also about Enzo, what I see is that I think because Norris James, their captain, was injured, and I feel like their first game of the season, him trying to be the captain, was trying to do everything that, okay, I'm the captain, let me do as much. That's what I say. And you're right, playing Kopama at the wing was, last season we saw the best of Kopama and that number 10. But the way I say it, I was like, maybe this is the first game of the season. The manager.
Would you exactly say that Kopama plays better in the middle? Because
from
what we saw last season, Kopama had some sort of a free roam.
Yeah, but it was more effective in that middle.
He basically starts centrally, but then he could still drift
anywhere
to the right.
But it was more effective in that middle. If I've been but the way I see the coach, like, okay, this is the first game. Let's see the formation. But I feel like going more further, like, okay, I think I have to change my formation. Madueke was my surprise. Him not being starting was surprising for me because
why is that? Why is that surprising?
Their preseason game, Madueke was very effective at that right wing. Let's be honest. So I was surprised that first game of the season, like most of them during their preseason, I think he scored maybe 1 or 2 goals and he also made assists. So I was surprised that first game of the season, the right winger that was more effective, I was surprised he was on the bench. But the way I look at it, I think because of the formation he used.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe in their next few games, in Madrid, if he wants to change the formation to 4-2-3-1, Madrid go Palmer to the middle and start
Madueke on the right. That might be it anyways. But more on Chelsea to come when we get to the matters arising section. But there were other games played. One of the other high-profile games that we were treated to this weekend was West Ham versus Aston Villa at the London Stadium. It didn't exactly live up to expectation, though. It was a very low-key game, but Aston Villa came out winners, 2-1 in that game. I know not many of us did watch the game, but what are your initial thoughts on it? Because I thought that the game was very underwhelming, in my honest opinion. Although few bright lights. Onana scored on his debut. Kudus, as always, the live wire. But West Ham largely had more chances, and Aston Villa just seemed to be able to take those chances. Watkins did not bring the spark as usual, and the rejected stone, John Duran, was the one that came up and gave Aston Villa the goods. So, what do we think?
From that game, West Ham, Aston Villa, I watched just, I think the first 60 minutes. I watched it here. So, from the gameplay, if you see, I think West Ham, in as much as they have one of the best windows this upcoming season, I think they are not balanced yet. They lack balance in that team. So, Aston Villa was all over them in that game. If you see, it was very early when Onana, I think it's the fourth or third minute, yeah. Because if you look at it, West Ham cannot be conceding through set piece like that. They have, I think they have Suchek, they have all these tall players.
Suchek, Kilman, and the likes.
All of them are tall, and I don't know how. If you look at the way they were so all over the place.
But then Onana himself is a freak of nature now.
Yeah, we understand, so but at least
you can't fault the tall guy.
Yeah, but even if you have that tall guy in that Aston Villa squad, there are not a lot of players you have to mark. Onana should be one of them. Onana was free when he hit that ball, so there's no way you can tell me it was not. Even all kudos to him being a tall guy and a good midfielder, but I just thought, like, I saw that game, but the way I saw it was that West Ham defense was not balanced and nobody was on Onana when he headed that ball.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was not even up to 4 yards when he placed the header, and it was so close to the goal. So I didn't know what to say.
Precision in the corner now. Where is it?
Yeah. So, and it was considering the second goal from West Ham. I can't even remember the player that scored.
John Duran.
No, the West Ham.
The West Ham goal.
The West Ham was a penalty from
Paqueta. Yeah, Paqueta.
That penalty, I don't know what
suspicious,
to say. It's a bit suspicious.
But then we'll get into that later on Matters Arise. Yeah. We'll still bring up
the penalty was too soft for me.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And there is something I have to, an issue I need to bring about penalties.
Before Matters Arise.
Yeah, I need to bring an issue about penalties.
Right.
And the second goal from Duran, I think that Duran guy is one of the best signings since last season.
Yeah.
That guy, he's called, I think, an hat-trick against Liverpool, I guess. Because,
he pops up.
The guy is very, very, very productive with that left leg. And once he has the ball in the right places, he hits it so hard that. So the guy is very, very, very good. So
you reckon he should go on to another team to start, or?
I think Aston Villa, at least if he plays this season for them, and he brings up those outstanding performances like consistently, then maybe from there will be a club, maybe
because a lot of clubs
a United.
Yeah, West Ham.
So a United will be good. So a United, or maybe those teams that are trying to push themselves to the next level. So that would be a very proper signing for them. So
I reckon it'd be a great value replacement, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Aston Villa West Ham match. What did I say about that match? To be honest, I feel like the first like I said, when Onana scored the goal, the first 10 minutes, I feel like Aston Villa were really in the game, especially Tielemans, their midfielder, was really, I think, conducting some good passes. And when West Ham got the penalty, I feel like after the first half, the second half, I thought when West Ham made some few changes, like I think that left wing, there was not really someone as effective. I think when they brought in Somerville, I feel like there was more effect in that left wing. But I think when the game actually changed was when Emery decided to bring in what's his name, Matson, their new signing, Matson. I think there were three. Matson, Durham. I feel like the pace for Aston Villa, because if you notice, almost to the end of the second half, I think the counter attack Aston Villa, because West Ham, I think both teams were trying to go for the winner.
Yeah.
So when West Ham were trying to push in more players, I think the counter attack that Aston Villa were getting, even if you see the winner goal, the three players that Emery brought on, I think they were the one that got the winner for them. So I feel like the substitution he made, I think both managers made good substitution, but I feel like Aston Villa's substitution won the game for them. Let's be honest. So yeah, that's what
it's part of being a good coach now, being able to
and making the right substitution.
Pick a good team to start with, and then if your initial game plan is getting,
I think that's what's so good about squad depth, and and Aston Villa, because they know that in the Champions League this year, they've been making effective signings.
It's very important to do that. But moving on from Villa and West Ham, we'll go to the very game that started the Premier League season as a whole. Manchester United, with their negative goal difference from last season, owing the English FA a goal, started the Premier League by welcoming Fulham to Old Trafford. And could be honest, the game deserved more goals because United missed a flurry of goals. But the Sexy Red, Joshua Sexy, started the goal scoring season with a goal on his debut, ending the 007 allegations. So thoughts on the game, because I thought United were great and there was a massive improvement from last season. They weren't getting caught on transitions, and the defense was solid. We had two amazing debuts, well, three amazing debuts on the day, and it was an all-round good game. There was lots of action on both ends, and we could see improvements on both teams' ends as well. But I mean, the game deserved more goals, but we'll take what we can get.
My thoughts on the game. I watched the game as well, and I think I have to say there's been a lot of improvements in Man U. I'm not gonna lie. First of all, I want to say the way they press, and I think the way they press, like the formation is 4-2-4. The way they press, so
it's a 4-2-4. It's a 4-2-4 shape. Yeah.
When they are pressing, I think if you notice that first half, Fulham, all their balls they were giving away. I think it was the help of the way they were pressing.
Because I mean, when you get pressed that much, the only thing
and I think the only way exactly, and every time they go long, I think
if you go long, there's nobody beating Maguire in the air,
and the defenders were able to help. And also, I think the way it was, the way the pressing was so effective was because of missing, obviously, and without like a normal striker there, but just the midfielder playing as a striker, and the chances. Don't get me wrong, we had a lot of chances. I'm not gonna lie. I know Casemiro last season was towards the end of last season was terrible, but obviously I'm not going to judge him on one game.
Towards the end of last season, he was
like
horrible.
Last 2 months,
it was horrible for the whole season.
Last 2 months, no.
For the whole season, it was horrible.
No, I feel like for the last 2 months, it was terrible. And I think I understand not playing your normal position, but it's still not an excuse. But obviously, we have to use him to cover our centre back position. But I feel like in that, obviously, I'm not going to judge him on one game. I still want to see more games too. I still want to see consistency. I don't want to judge him on one game. But I feel I saw improvement in the way we press and the chances we created. But obviously, I know Bruno had some chances, but we couldn't finish it. But I feel like at least we can see the difference that they are creating chances.
Yep.
But one thing I want improvement is that creating chances for the striker, because that's what Oiland lacked. And this season, we've gotten a new striker, Zexi, which I'm proud of him for his performance and his debut goal. But I feel like I can see the chances they are creating. Yep. I just want to make sure they keep that consistently. I know that if they bring in if a striker is starting for us, that chances needs to be created for him.
That's the way it should be, because you should always create chances for your strikers. No? Not everyone can hustle chances out of thin air. But let's hear from another person.
For the Man U game, Man U Fulham, it was an entertaining game. Yeah, good game from United. So because I think United, they were able to at least reduce the way they were open in the midfield throughout last season. You understand? And there's somebody that we have, two players that I'm going to give those credits to: Messi Mount and Casemiro. I was able to see that energy that Mount normally delivers to Chelsea, and he was able to put pressure mostly on Kevin Bassey. He was able to pressurize him to make a lot of errors. So that's the thing. So overall, I think United first half the game should have been 2-3-0 if they were able to be clinical from Bruno, because those obviously normally he's a good scorer. In most times, Bruno knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, but I think maybe it's just due to rustiness and first game of the season. People have not gotten their form yet, so that's the reason why. But I'm going to speak on Rashford a little bit, because I think Rashford he has to make up his mind which the type of winger he's going to be in this nearest future. If he's going
to be 26,
if he's going to be the productive midfielder, winger, like if you want to be like an Eroleno that can just be running and give the pass for someone to score, or you're going to be the winger that can take on your man, because it's none of them.
I thought those kind of decisions were the kind of things that players would make. Those decisions were things that players would make when they were like 20, 21. He's 26. He should be in his prime. He should have already known the kind of winger he was.
Yeah, but that even if the player is moving in a way where like he has no direction, that's why you have a coach sometimes.
Right.
So to tell you, because the job of the coach is just to put you in the best position for you to show your quality. So Rashford plays majority of the time in that left wing, which is his best wing.
According to him as well.
So when I see him as a player, because it's not my favorite kind of winger, but I still see some quality there. But it becomes a problem for me when you have a winger that cannot beat your defender. You have like 15 take-ons to a defender, you can't beat him once. That's when I see that there's a problem there.
That's poor.
So, and if you look at the last play, he was able to deliver that pass for Garnacho, and unlucky for him, he missed it. If he's able to do that more of the time, it will be very good for him. If you can't beat your man, but we know you can run and deliver a good pass, it's good. But Rashford just have to choose the kind of winger is going to be in the nearest future. That's what I think.
Also, about what you said about Rashford, I think you are right. Rashford at 26, most people at that age, they're in their prime.
He should be the person that the young attackers are looking up
to. The reason why everyone, what you just said about Rashford is not this type of winger, because Rashford has been in the Premier League for how long now?
He's been there since he was 18.
That's what I'm saying. But the problem with Rashford is that people don't really look at Rashford because it's not doing it consistently. And 2 seasons ago, he scored 30 goals. Last season, it dropped down. This season, we don't know what we can do. That's why everyone are not really like, can Rashford be consistent? And like you said, that pass he made for this thing, like, can Rashford, obviously, everybody, we know how talented Rashford is. We know the talent in him, but the problem is that can we see that consistently? That's the truth. Doesn't want to be that winger that will take players on and there's no end product. And his decision making this season, can he improve it? Like, he can take on anyone, but what's the end product? What's the point of taking 2-3 people and the ball doesn't even get into the box and this thing?
It might just as well get buff.
Also,
it might just
in
as
that
well
Man
get
U game,
buff.
we need to appreciate, like, when someone works out, we need to appreciate. The new signing, Mazraoui. I feel like no one really.
Oh no,
I know, but it's just like.
I mean, in the interview that we did on Friday night after the game, I gave props to him. I gave props to him.
First, your debut in Premier League, we need to appreciate. Like, the first thing I noticed was that tackle. That tackle in the middle of the box that saved. I feel like if that goal had entered, that would have changed your game. But that tackle changed everything. Also, we saw a little bit of belief for the first time, and he made, like, we could see that there's more to come. Obviously, we didn't see much of him, but also we need to appreciate Maguire in that game. That saved that 2 against 1. I know, obviously, Maguire is not the fastest. The way Ten Hag wants to play is not the fastest. Like, the eye line, it doesn't offer much, but that block he made, I feel like it changed everything. What else to understand? Yeah, and also the substitution Ten Hag made was the right timing.
Pretty good substitutions. Good. Yeah, they were timely. But then, moving on from the United game now, we had Arsenal welcome Wolves to the Emirates, and Arsenal won that game by 2-0. I think that game was one of the few games that had like mixed reactions to it, because Wolves actually played a very good game in between both goals, and on another day could have been a different story entirely. So, what do you guys think?
Okay, the way I see that Arsenal was good, I feel like the first half, everyone knew Arsenal has been the way Arsenal has been last season. They've been competing with Man City, even though Man City are still the top. But we expected that kind of first half from Arsenal, and the quick goal from Havertz. We expected that kind of first half. But I feel like that second half there was a different Wolves. I feel like the Gary O'Neill had already done some talk with the players that time, because that second half was a different Wolves that came out to attack Arsenal entirely, and there were some good saves from Ryan. It was a different, like, the way they were even, like, the way they were compact, the way they were even holding the ball, like the way they even, like, the passes. I was even surprised that the confidence they even took.
That's Wolves, that is. Yeah.
That was Wolves.
But the person who played left centre back for Wolves, I think Totti, it was a bit shaky in the opening exchange
compared to the other guy, Mosquera. The new Colombian centre back. It was more confident. I think that was like his debut.
That's his debut. Yeah, it was a very interesting.
It was
debut,
more confident,
which we'll talk about in matters arising as well. Because my God, What a debut that was. Strange, very strange, bro.
So that second half, I thought both were coming in, but I think when Saka scored the second goal, I think it pushed them a bit back. But before that goal, I saw both were attacking. Like even they had chances. You saw the mistake Raya gave to the Wolves this thing. So that's what I see.
As I said, on another day, it could have been a completely different story.
But I think in both games, I feel like the first half was a different Arsenal and the second half was a different Wolves until Saka scored the second goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Arsenal game, Arsenal versus Wolves, there is one credit I have to give to Arteta. I think since the past couple of years now, like 2-3 years, when they'll be challenging for this league, there is something that is changing every season, the mentality of the players and as a team. You know, the previous Arsenal before maybe the Emery, the Arteta first year regime and those periods, just a little pressure, Arsenal they are able to fold up. You understand? Once you pressurize them a little bit, you're able to get a goal too. But now the balance in the team, I think that's going to be the difference this year for Arsenal. If City is able, if they slip up, I think Arsenal are very balanced. The way even if you pressurize them, those key moments when you pressurize them, they're able to withstand those moments. And when they have that time, they deliver those goals. You understand? So, and I think from the game, I think the first half, Arsenal they choked it because the game I think Arsenal choked them. Team Saka was able to do what he normally does best, bringing those good balls for the striker or whatever offensive player is there. So and Havertz was able to do a good job by heading that ball. Then I think Wolves were able to do some little spaces that because I think losing Neto is a very big loss for them because that he was their
outlet.
He was their outlet when they're on the ball. So they were giving the ball and he was able to run. So I think he can and I don't think Cunha started.
No, it wasn't Cunha. It was somebody else. Brent Larsen.
So
Alan's second choice.
So I think Hichan was not able to do everything himself. So I just think Arsenal just sealed the day because they know last season losing the league by is it 2 or 3 points. I think every point counts now for them. So they are not trying to slip up against anybody. So I just knew that Arsenal they're going to go away with the 3 points. So that's what I saw in that game.
Yeah. In other results, Ipswich and Liverpool gave us a very entertaining game at Ipswich home. It was a very entertaining game, to be honest. And the game ended up 2-0 to Liverpool on the day. The new boys all impressed, in my honest opinion. Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester City. Because Leicester Leicester got away with a point against Spurs. We all expected that, to be fair. I mean, Jamie Vardy versus Tottenham.
Spurs.
Yeah, and Newcastle, they did not perform as well as we thought against Southampton because we all thought it was going to be a massacre. At St. James's Park, but Southampton actually showed us that I don't think we are going to go down just like that. That it looks like they have something for people. But if we are going to move away from the Premier League now and go to other leagues around the grounds, Juventus played against Como, Cesc Fabregas with his managerial debut in Italy, and it was a spanking, 3-0. I didn't see the game, but I saw all the highlights. It was expected, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of expected because Como is just a club coming from the second division now, and if you look at Thiago Motta being the coach, because of the good job he did last season with Bologna, he was playing this, I think, 3-5-2. I think something like that. But the way they attack is just surprising. So he was able to take them to the Champions League spot. So I knew like Juventus, obviously, they are the powerhouse of the Serie A, so they're going to take him. So when he came into the club, I knew, okay, obviously, Juventus are going to change the style of play now. So if you look at, I saw a couple of highlights because I was able to watch the game. Juventus, the way they were pressing, the way they were able to offensively press and try to score Como, it was supposed to be like 5 goals, 5-6, but they were not that clinical, but they were able to get away with series. So it's a good game, yeah.
And then in La Liga, where Okra was the case for most of the games, Barcelona narrowly escaped with a 2-1 win against Valencia. And, Lewandowski is up to 2 goals this season. I think it's like I'm in the top 5 leagues, the highest goal scorer currently when it comes to goals. And Real Madrid, with their star signing and perhaps arguably the most fearsome front four in European football today, played a 1-1 draw against the mighty Mallorca. What do you have to say about this?
What I'm going to say in that game is obviously we all know how, if you are a La Liga fan, you know how hostile Mallorca ground is.
Hostile is putting it lightly.
No, that ground, because I think last season, because I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was a 1-0 win. Chouameni was the person that was able to score an outside shot because of the way, because they know how to defend very properly. So, and when those teams are defending that way, you should be able to bring in crosses. And because now in Madrid, there's no target man in that line. Like Joselu, that's where Joselu was needed as that bench to come in to put pressure on that defense. Because Mbappe will not go aerially with you. Vini will not go aerially with you. So Carvajal's crosses were wasted. The same with Mendy. So I think the game, Mallorca just had one job, to defend well.
Yeah.
So because they were defend. So they're going to they were able to defend and go with long balls, counter attacks, corner kicks. So because sometimes I think defensively, this spark between Militao and Rudiger, sometimes they might be out of place. They are very good pairing sometimes, but they can lose it. They are not sometimes aware of their surroundings, because that guy, Mutski or whatever they call him, Muriki or whatever his name is called, he's the tallest person in the team.
Yeah.
He's known for delivering set pieces for Mallorca. So I don't know why you are going to be the center back of that team. That man should be your primary job.
It reminds me of one of those games that City needed to win the last game of the league to win the league against Liverpool, and there was this very tall striker in Brighton, Glenn Murray. I don't know if you remember. Old man. And then on that corner, they made Bernardo Silva mark him. Why?
So from that game, Rudiger, you have one job. You are 6'2", I guess, or 6'3". That should be your man. But you were in the what do you call it? The first line after the 18-yard box. You were standing there clueless. The player that was now marking was Mbappe. How is he going to mark him? Mbappe did not even jump or contest for the header. So it was like a free header for the goal.
Don't use pace.
So I think defensively, Madrid has to buckle up, because in as much as we have that offensive powerhouse, but I think the balance is missing. That's why we miss the maestro, Toni Kroos. We are going to feel the effect of that man this season. I think that's going to be this first couple of games. That's going to be the struggle. I know as the season goes further, the other players, Valverde, Jude, they will be able to cover that space, but not like Tony, obviously. But
my honest opinion, you guys can just go and find a Cruz regen, and I have just the player for you.
Which player?
He's in Chelsea. He's their captain.
Please don't piss me off.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Stop. He moves the ball.
Please. So let me just speak before I pass the mic. Let me just speak on the attack, because there's a lot of criticism in the attack a little bit. I think because if you are a football fan and you understand how tactics work, everybody knows that Mbappe is not going to be waiting back in the post all the time as a normal striker. So they're going to be interchanging in the game. But there were a lot of offensive play where you find Jude, Vini, Mbappe, and Rodrigo in one position. You understand? And they are trying to
mostly on the left.
They are trying to pass the ball, and I don't know. I think obviously these players, they see what people say. They hear the fans, the media, and everything. So I think they are trying to force the synergy, like to try to show, we are passing the ball amongst each other. No, that's why they can never be a player like Ronaldo. These guys were having, when they pass the ball, cutbacks. Shoot, my friend. You are trying to pass. Shoot. Mbappe knows how to shoot more than all the attackers there. Rodrigo is the second. Vinny is not like the guy that can shoot for long range, but sometimes he can try it. But Mbappe can shoot, but he's not shooting, he's passing. And I don't want to see that all the season. We need to start taking shots from outside.
Is that not what the generator, the three hearts, the Emperor,
Yeah.
the Lion, the Conqueror,
Yeah.
number 8? Is that not what it's there for?
Vevade has a lot of job to do.
Mm.
Because now we have lost Toni Kroos and the balance. So he has off the ball. When we lose the ball, he and Jude, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
they have to run back. They have to mark the ball. So Vevade is still going to be in those offensive positions to tap in because he has that energy to do those runs and like box to box. So he has that energy. But I just need the strikers because there was a first half interview within the players, not like an interview, like the players having a conversation in the tunnel,
the tunnel thing
with the Jude saying like, you guys have to just decide, like someone has to shoot because running back is killing him. So I understand that kind of thing is going to happen because Mbappe and Vini, they are lazy markers of the ball. They are not going to pressurize or mark too much. Same with Rodrigo. So you're going to believe a lot of workload for those other midfielders. So they have, if those guys are marking, you guys have to do your job. So that's what I see. So I just think at least it's going to come into full circle. At least maybe as the season runs by, but at least now they're just testing the water. So that's what I have to say.
So Zan, what do you think about that game?
I didn't really watch the whole game, but I think I watched like 60 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
And the way I say, I think Mallorca were really prepared. Obviously, they knew the attack we're going to face. So I think they were prepared for the team, for Real Madrid.
Mm.
And also, I think, like you said, Real Madrid, their balance is not really not the attacking part, the midfield and the midfield side. Obviously, so they've lost the legend of their midfield. Toni Kroos has retired. I feel like they have the balance of the midfield. Obviously, it's the first game. Let's judge on the first game. The first game, everyone is getting prepared that this is the first game of the season. Even though it's Real Madrid or Barca, where like any team would be like, okay, want to impress. And with the signing of Mbappe, everyone like, okay, Mbappe is in Real Madrid now. They want to come here and score ball. Morocco, I think they were prepared that, okay, it doesn't matter the Real Madrid attack. Let's come prepared. That's why if you notice, there was one part that we saw like 12, like it's trending on Twitter. You saw like 12
players
in defense
behind
like,
the ball.
The same. And also
8 players behind the ball. That is not. See, that can't be football. This is terrorism. This is terrorism. Like Osama bin Laden didn't die. He's coaching Mallorca. That's haram.
And also, like Ola said, that number 9 position, like the crosses, like Oselu last season, you know that all he doesn't need to do is to stay in the box.
Yeah.
And crosses from, like I said, crosses from Cavara, Mendy, they don't have number. And obviously, we know Mbappe is not a striker, but he can play the ball. There are some games that you want a number 9 to be there to nod in the ball. But like I said, it's the first game of season, don't let's judge. But like all of them, you can tell that all of them want to be at the left. Like if you check the heat map of Real Madrid, most of their ball are coming from that.
Yeah, because you could see it that Mbappe and Vinicius, it's like they were occupying the same position, leaving the whole big gap for those people in the center to not be threatened by or something.
Yeah, that left position, obviously, because Madrid, we are fond of this thing. When we play against any team, we tend to look for the position with the weakest link. You understand? And if we watch the Bayern Munich game in the Champions League last season that just finished when we won the Champions League, immediately Vinicius beats Kimmich the first touch. When he beats Kimmich, because he nearly steamrolled, barbecued, whatever to Kimmich that day. So immediately he passed Kimmich. Everybody started passing him to that wing. That was where we caused a lot of havoc. So that left position, we know our best qualities in that position. Vini is arguably the best dribbler in the world in current football right now in terms of offensive players. So there's no way you're going to have him in your team and not give him the ball all the time. So that's why I think the heat map is obviously going to be that wing. And most actions are going to start from that wing. So you can see positions where Mbappe will switch there. Vini will be at the middle because he too can stretch the play with his pace and everything. So I think at least this season we are going to see different team from Madrid.
That's just for the first game week anyways. You never really know. Things might get better in the coming weeks. But